What's going on, everybody? Halo Drama here, and I'm back with another MTG Commander deck that I own video. Again, just like I said in the last video, sorry for the hiatus and whatnot, but life happens, and life is more important. But in my hiatus, I was still putting decks together, and I put a deck together with this guy who I've always liked since I pulled him from New Capana. Excuse me. And that's Jetmir Nexus of Revels. Costs 1 in Naya, that's red, green, and white. For anyone who doesn't know, is a 5/4 cat demon. That states, creatures I control get +1/+0 and have vigilance as long as I control 3 or more creatures. Creatures I control also get +1/+0 and have trample as long as I control 6 or more creatures. Creatures I control also get +1/+0 and have double strike as long as I control 9 or more creatures. Needless to say, this is going to be a go white strategy, tokens and whatnot. I don't really see how anybody could play it any other way, but I also can't speak for anybody either because everybody plays differently. Again, that's what makes this game fun. So yeah, if you can get up to 9 creatures, or 8 creatures in your commander, all your creatures to get +3/+0 vigilance, trample, and double strike, even with 1/1 tokens, depending on how many you got out there, that can get pretty devastating real quick. I've play tested this deck a couple times, did pretty good. I know it can be improved. Just another deck I kind of put together on the fly. I'm greatly open to suggestions. I have no problem with that whatsoever. And remember, the decks I build, I don't really go out of my way to find stuff. Yes, I have stuff on my wish list for decks, but I more or less build them out of stuff that I already own, and then I kind of just run with it and play test it, and then I go and improve it from there. Just like the rest of my deck videos, the cards aren't in any particular order except for the fact that they're separated between their categories, which is creatures, enchantments, sorceries, and instants. There are no, and artifacts, and non-basic lands if I choose to bring them up. There are no planeswalkers in this deck, so we can go ahead and get on to our first creature, which is, Vital Splicer. Costs 3 and a green as a 1/1 human artificer. When Vital Splicer enters the battlefield, I create a 3/3 colorless golem artifact creature token. Can pay 1 and regenerate target golem I control. I like it because it's a 2-for-1. Yeah, I'm gonna get 2 creatures out of casting 1 card. That's legit why this is in here. I'm trying to make creatures, get out there as fast as humanly possible, whether they be tokens, regular creatures, whatever the case may be. Go on to our next one. Which is, and that's the art I have. Awesome. Is Maja. I'm gonna go with Maja. Prediguard Protector. Costs 2 a green and 2 white. Is a 2/3 legendary human warrior that says other creatures I control get +1/+1, and whenever a land enters the battlefield under my control, create a 1/1 white human warrior creature token. And another one that's pretty self-explanatory. If I'm trying to get creatures out there as fast as possible, I'm going to play a minimum 1 land per turn, hopefully. That's obviously what you want. But there are also, and we'll get to them once we get to the sorceries and this, there are also ramp spells in here that'll get me more lands at a time. Part of the deck is green, so needless to say there are ramp spells in there because I believe they belong in almost any green deck. But that's just me. Let's see, the next one I have here is, and I just got this card out for the first time the other day, and it served me a great purpose in the game that we were playing. It's one of those kind of cards you're like, that's nice, but then you play with it and you realize it's nicer than you think it is. Fabine, I'm gonna go with that. Fabine, whatever. Boss is confident. Costs 3 and Naya. is a 3/6 legendary cat advisor that says creature tokens I control have haste. Needless to say, I'm going to be making a lot of those. So, yeah, why not let them have haste? Has a parlay ability that says at the beginning of combat on my turn, each player, that's all your opponents and you, reveal the top card of their library. For each land card revealed this way, I get to create a 1/1 green and white citizen creature token. Then creatures I control get +1/+1 until end of turn. For each non-land card revealed this way, then each player draws a card. Yeah, I am gonna help everybody pretty much draw the card that they revealed, but I'm gonna get these bonuses first. Unless they draw some kind of instant that can mess me up, but it is what it is. Yeah, I really like this card. Like I said, just got it out for the first time just a little bit ago, a couple days. Today is 4/20. Whoop whoop for anybody who celebrates. I most certainly am. So yeah, it was just a couple days ago I got this card out, and yeah, it's pretty awesome. Let's see. Next card on my list is. There we go. Jenny Fate, Jetmir's second. May as well have his second in the deck that he's the commander of. Makes sense, and I just happen to have this card, and it makes sense anyway. But it cost a Gruul hybrid. That's green and red, if anybody doesn't know. A green and a Celestia hybrid. It's green and white for anybody who doesn't know. It is a 3/3 legendary creature elf druid that says if you would create one or more tokens, you may instead create that many 2/2 green cat creature tokens with haste, or that many 3/1 green dog creature tokens with vigilance. And what makes this awesome is the fact that a lot of, not all, but a lot of, and the majority of the tokens that I'll be making in this deck come out as 1/1s. So with this on the board, I can make them bigger. Bigger power, bigger toughness, or just bigger power with vigilance. And obviously the 2/2s have haste. So, excuse me. That's nice any way you look at it. Yeah, making a bunch of tokens. Make them better tokens. So, booyah. And let's see, next card on my stack here is Geisthonored Monk. I used to love this card back in Standard when it was Standard in Innistrad. So let's just pull up the Innistrad version because I like it. I feel that made it zoom out though. Okay, so let's just stick with what I'm doing. Costs 3 and 2 white for a star human monk. It has vigilance. Geisthonored Monk's power and toughness are each equal to the number of creatures I control, which is if this deck runs correctly. Who doesn't want their deck to run correctly, but it doesn't happen all the time, will end up being a lot of creatures. Also, when Geisthonored Monk enters the battlefield, I create 2 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying. So even if Geisthonored Monk enters the battlefield and is the only creature on the battlefield, she will end up being a 3/3 because she creates 2 other creature tokens, and of course, obviously, she counts for herself. So, yeah, just another way to get more creatures out there faster. And this is kind of it's the 3-for-1. Let's see. Next one on my list here. Is Tristani, Celestia's Voice. Basically, it costs double Celestia, green, white, however you want to look at it. Is a 2/5 legendary creature dryad that says whenever another creature enters the battlefield under control, you gain life equal to that creature's toughness. Cool. And has you can pay 1 Celestia and tap it. You can populate. Populate means you create a token that's a copy of a creature token you control. So obviously the populate doesn't work if you don't control any other creature tokens, but if you do, it does, and you keep gaining life for each of those tokens that keep coming onto the battlefield. So, yeah. Next we have here is Rumor Gatherer. Costs 1 and 2 white, is a 2/1 elf wizard that has the Alliance ability, which means whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, scry 1. Awesome. If this is the second time this ability has resolved this turn, draw a card instead. So yeah, this is gonna help me scry through my deck, and it's gonna help me draw cards. Because a lot of times, look at the guy's turn at Monk. I'm having 3 creatures enter, so I'm gonna get to draw that card. And yeah, any that enter after that, I do believe I still get to scry, but I think I only get to draw the 1 card off the second one. I have to look more into that, but I like this card either way. Yeah, obviously, if I didn't like it, it wouldn't be in a deck. Goody Essence Warden. Costs 1 green, is a 1/1 elf Shimon. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, I gain 1 life. And that's anybody's creatures, mine and my opponent's. And I'm going to have a ton of creatures entering the battlefield, so I'm going to end up gaining a ton of life. Let's see next. Oh yeah, here's a creature I've gotten pretty big before. Juniper Order Ranger. Costs 3 and Celestia. Is a 2/4 Human Knight Ranger. Oh, that must be an errata. That's the one I have. Just says Human Knight. But, okay. Whatever you guys say. You guys are in charge. Oh, they re-released it. March of the Machine come in. Okay, whatever. It's a Ranger now. Well, it's in his name, so I guess that does make sense. But anyway, whenever another creature enters the battlefield under my control, which again is going to happen a lot, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature and a +1/+1 counter on Juniper Order Ranger. And with the way that I'm flushing out tokens as fast as possible, this card ends up getting big as hell. It makes for a great attacker and blocker. Because yeah, it ends up getting pretty huge. That's what she said. Alright, next I have, and let's see how badly I can wreck this name. Queen Alenol, yeah, let's go with that. Of Ruadak. Sure. Is a, let's pull up, it's easier. Cost, green and 2 white, is a star legendary creature elf noble. Her power and toughness are each equal to the number of creatures I control. It's going to be quite the theme in this deck. If 1 or more creature tokens would be created under my control, those tokens plus a 1/1 white soldier creature token are created instead. So anything that I'm casting or that are helping me make tokens, I'm going to get those tokens. And I'm also going to get a 1/1 white soldier to come in with them. More tokens. That's a pretty cool art though. Let's see. Oh, another one that is from the Innistrad block. Innistrad block was one of my personal favorite blocks, and that is Thraben Doomsayer. Yeah, this was in Dark Ascension. Costs 1 and 2 white. It's a 2/2 human cleric. Has a tap ability to create a 1/1 white human creature token. Has Fateful Hour, which I have never used in a commander game. I've used this in 60 card games, but Fateful Hour says as long as you have 5 or less life, other creatures you control get +2/+2. That in the commander game is probably not going to happen, because if I get anywhere near 5 life, I'm probably going to die anyway. But it may come up. It may be useful one day. Who knows? But yeah, every turn I just keep creating tokens and tokens. Yeah, that's what it's in there for. Next, the other Warden, which is Soul Warden. Printed a bunch of times. Cost 1 white, is a 1/1 human cleric. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, I gain 1 life, just like the Essence Warden. Anybody's creatures, my creatures enter, I just get to keep gaining life for all of them. Let's see, next. I spelled that right. Right. Okay, guess we just had to do it the hard way, even though I'm almost positive I spelled that right. Whatever. Anyway, Reverent Hoplite. Costs 4 and a white, is a 1/2 human soldier. Whenever Reverent Hoplite enters the battlefield, create a number of 1/1 white human soldier creature tokens equal to my devotion to white. For anybody who doesn't know what devotion means, devotion means it count whatever colors. Like say this is devotion to white, so it's counting the mana symbols in the white permanents that are in the permanents I control. I can't just say white permanents because some of these permanents are multicolored. But whatever permanents I have that have white mana symbols in it, you count all those up and then you do what this tells you to do. And I probably should have mentioned this at the beginning of the video, but I know this deck is Naya colors, but the majority of this deck is green and white. There are red cards splashed in here, don't get me wrong, but the majority of the deck is green and white. So yeah, I still end up getting a bunch of tokens out of that, which is great. Let's see, and next. We have Champion of Lambholt. Costs 1 and 2 green, as a 1/1 human warrior. That says creatures with power less than Champion's power can't block creatures I control. Already sounds great. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under my control, put a +1/+1 counter on Champion of Lambholt. And I end up getting a ton of creatures that enter the battlefield, so this thing gets big real fast. That's what she said. I'm surprised it didn't say whenever another, say, non-token creature enters, because the fact that you can do this with tokens makes this card kind of broken. And then it just makes all my creatures unblockable. And then, yeah, let's go. So, yeah, Champ. Always been a good card. Let's see. Next. Oh, it's the other Soul Sister. It is. Soul's Attendant. Costs 1 white, is a 1/1 human cleric. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you may gain 1 life. Now keep in mind that that's a may, so it's on you to remember that trigger. If another creature's into the battlefield and you're not paying attention, and then another action happens or whatever, in my eyes you miss that may, because it's a may, so pay attention. And this includes me, because I've done it multiple times. Let's see, the next card on my stack here is Sensor Splicer. Costs 4 and a white, is a 1/1. Oh, it's a Phyrexian Artificer now. I have the old Phyrexian, new Phyrexian one. It just says Artificer, but okay, cool. Everything's just Phyrexian nowadays. But anyway, when Sensor Splicer enters the battlefield, I create a 3/3 colorless Phyrexian Golem artifact creature. Now the Golems are also Phyrexian. Alright, cool. And it states that Golem creatures I control have Vigilance. Just another 2-for-1 that gets me another token out onto the battlefield. More creatures, more creatures, more creatures. And the one that is... Oh, wow. Butchered that spelling. Is Blade Splicer. This one costs 2 and a white, is a 1/1 Phyrexian Human Artificer. Yeah, right. When Blade Splicer enters the battlefield, create a 3/3 colorless Phyrexian Golem artifact creature token. Golems I control have first strike. Yeah, they keep making these new errata texts. Again, I have the old new Phyrexia one and it just says Human Artificer. But it is what it is. And back then they didn't say Phyrexia and Golem either, they just say Golem. But hey, Wizards, you do what you want. Yeah, just another 2 for 1, and this one's actually cheaper than the other ones. So yeah. Let's see, next I have Rasta. A Rasta of the Endless Web costs 2 and 2 green as a 3/5 legendary enchantment creature. Spider has reach, which means it can block creatures with flying. Anybody who doesn't know, whenever an opponent casts an instant or sorcery spell, I create a 1/1 green, 1/2 green spider creature token with reach. So yeah, they keep casting instant sorceries. I keep getting tokens. Even if they cast like an instant removal spell to get rid of this, I'm still at least gonna get the token before it goes. So yeah, spell slingers, watch yourself. Let's see, the next one I have here is Odric, Master Tactician. I've always liked this card. Yet another one from it wasn't from the Innistrad block, but it was still standard because M13 was there. I remember having this in a standard deck back in that block. But anyway, 2 and 2 white for a 3/4 legendary creature. Human Soldier has first strike. Whenever Odric and at least 3 other creatures attack, you choose which creatures block this combat and how those creatures block. And you know one of the ones I pick all the time? That they don't block. Because I choose which creatures block, so I'm going to choose that they don't. And then whoosh. Especially if they have all my commander's abilities with the double strike. Yeah, no, I'm not having you block a damn thing. How about you just take all this to the face? Giggity. Next one, and this is the third to last creature. I have Master Splicer. Costs 3 and a white, is a 1/1 Phyrexian Human Artificer, another errata change, whatever. Whenever it enters the battlefield, I create another 3/3 colorless golem, and golem creatures I control get +1/+1. Yep, just another 2 for 1. Just another 2 for 1. 2 creatures for 1. Second to last I have in my stack here is Suture Priest. Costs 1 and a white. Damn, another errata change. I just have all these old cards. But 1 and a white for a 1/1 Phyrexian Cleric. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under my control, I may gain 1 life. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, I may have that player lose 1 life. I just did this card because I thought it was funny. And let's see, the last creature that I have on my pile here is Ameria Angel. Costs 2 and 2 white, is a 3/3 angel, obviously. With flying, has landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under my control, I may create a 1/1 white bird creature token with flying. Again, get this out. Your hopes obviously are to play lands every turn. So if you're able to do that, then you're going to get tokens every turn. Booyah. It's a pretty simple concept. Alright, that is it for the creatures. Going to move on into the enchantments. And the first one is one I'm sure a lot of people don't like. And it is Aura Shards. Costs 1 in Celestia. And whenever a creature enters the battlefield under my control, I may destroy target artifact or enchantment. Broken as hell as far as I'm concerned, but I'm glad I own one. And it's another one of those cards that I'm surprised it doesn't say whenever a non-token creature enters. Because with the fact that I can play something like Gosh Down and 1 can get 3 creatures at a time, that's 3 artifact or enchantments that are going by. And it is what it is. I likes it. Let's see. The next one I have here is Gruul War Chant. Costs 2 and Gruul. Hence the name. attacking creatures I control get +0, +1, and have menace. For anybody who doesn't know what menace is, it means the creature that's attacking with menace can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures. So just a kind of a way of evasion, make someone have to rethink their blocking strategies and whatnot. And not to mention there's a card in this deck that goes kind of with that, but we'll get to that when we get to it because it's also an enchantment. But I'm not going to skip order. The next one on my stack here is Assemble the Legion. Whatever. Costs 3 and Boros, red and white. At the beginning of my upkeep, I put a muster counter on Assemble the Legion. Then create a 1/1 red and white soldier creature token with haste for each muster counter on it. I've seen this thing go off. Granted, it does cost 5, so it's going to take you a second to get it out there. But after you get it out there, and I think this is really only playable in Commander, in a 60 card format, this is way too slow. But, yeah, this thing gets out there for at least 2 tree turns. Yeah. After you cast it, obviously, if the game goes that long. Yeah, you're going to end up with a bunch of tokens. In 3 more turns after this enters the battlefield, you'll have at least 6 of them. And yeah, they build up pretty damn fast. Depending how long your game is stretching. And, oh shit. Probably one of the god cards of this deck. It's not even a creature. It's an enchantment. It's Cathar's Crusade. Costs 3 and 2 white. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, whatever, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. This shit goes off, especially if you're creating mass tokens at a time. Your whole board just gets really strong, really fast, and you start running over shit. That's definitely what it's in here for. And actually, the next card on my list is the card that I was speaking of. That goes with Cruel War Chant. Oh. And it is Familiar Ground. Costs 2 and a green, and it states that each creature you control can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. So if this is on the board, and the Cruel War Chant is on the board that says my creatures have menace, can't be blocked by except by 2 or more creatures, and this says they can't be blocked by more than 1 creatures. If both of those are on the board at the same time, all my creatures are unblockable. So, yeah. If I ever have a deck that has red or green in it, and the deck is based on attacking, believe me, both of these cards are going to be in it. Granted, it is a commander, it is a singleton format, so it's not always a guarantee that you're going to get those out at the same time. But if you do, you better run with it while you can before somebody gets rid of that shit, because they will try, and I don't blame them. Next, I have Intangible Virtue. 1 and a white enchantment, creature tokens I control get +1/+1 and have vigilance. There's going to be a lot of tokens in this deck, so I feel like that one explains itself. Another very, very good card in this deck is Beastmaster Ascension. Costs 2 and a green, and whenever a creature I control attacks, I may put a quest counter on Beastmaster Ascension. As long as Beastmaster Ascension has 7 or more quest counters on it, creatures I control get +5/+5. And this thing gets up there quick, because luckily this doesn't have what a lot of these new cards are worded with. That says that this only happens once per turn, or whenever 1 or more creatures. No, it's whenever a creature attacks. So say if I attack you with 7 creatures at the same time, this is going to get all 7 counters. And yeah, those 1/1s are now 6/6s. Let's go, shall we? Let's see. Next, and this is about to be the third to last enchantment I have. This is a newer card, so I had to stare at it for the spelling because I'm still not used to the name yet. And it is Skrell's Hive. 1 and a white at the beginning of your upkeep. You lose 1 life and create a 1/1 colorless Phyrexian Might artifact creature token with Toxic 1. And this creature can't block. For anybody who doesn't know what Toxic is, it's a newer mechanic that just came out this year, 2023, depending on when someone's watching this video. If a creature with Toxic hits you, you get a number of poison counters for the number of Toxic it is. Not for the creature's power and toughness, just for the number of Toxic that it is. It has an ability called Corrupted. As long as an opponent has 3 or more poison counters, creatures I control have lifelink. I'm not really counting on the fact that my opponents will end up with 3 or more poison counters. I'm counting for the fact that every upkeep, this is going to give me another creature to go with my commander's ability. So yeah, that's how I'm looking at that. Let's see, second to last enchantment is Glory of Warfare. Awesome card from back in the day. Costs 2 in Boros. States as long as it's my turn, creatures I control get +2/+0. Excuse me. As long as it's not my turn, creatures I control get +0/+2. So beef them up on attacking on my turn, beef them up on defense when it's not my turn. Let's go. And the last enchantment that is in my deck here, I got this out the other day playing this deck and my friend destroyed it immediately, which again, I don't blame him, but it is what it is. Parallel Lives. 3 and a green. If an effect would create 1 or more tokens under my control, it creates twice that many tokens instead. And I mean, he destroyed this immediately. But needless to say, if this is a card that stays on the board, it goes off. I feel like Parallel Lives is one of those cards that needs no introduction. Tokens, and more tokens. Alright, let's move on into these sorceries. If you can't tell, I'm trying to move these videos along a little faster. Less bullshit. Revoke Existence costs 1 and a white. Exile target artifact or enchantment. Pretty cut and dry there. Next. Oops. Thought I broke it. Cultivate costs 2 and a green. You get to search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Reveal those cards. Put 1 onto the battlefield tapped, and the other into your hand. Like I said, it's a deck that's part green, so there better be some ramp in it, because that's what green does. Next sorcerer I have here is Martial Coup. Costs 2 white and X. You get to create X 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. If X is 5 or more, destroy all other creatures. And I've definitely done that. I'm sure other people have done that. Roughly 7 mana for you to keep 5 creatures and then get rid of all the other creatures. You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. You gotta have that backup plan. Granted, do I want to destroy all my tokens and shit? Of course I don't. But if I have to, because say somebody else's board state is getting a little out of control, or they got something that's gotta go, then shit's gotta go. It is what it is. Next card, Rapid Growth. Most people know this card. I'm not gonna say all. 1 and a green. Search your library for a basic land card. Put it on the battlefield, taps and shuffle. Pretty cut and dry. That's flat out what it does. Next, have Farseek. Farseek costs 1 and a green. You get to search your library for a plains, island, swamp, or mountain card and put it on the battlefield tapped. What makes this awesome is obviously if you cast it, you already have a green source. And notice it doesn't say that you have to go get a basic land of one of the other types. You just have to get one of the other types. So if you have, those cards that are like the dual land types, the mountain plains, or even the Mountain Forest, Plains Forest. You know, any of those combinations of cards, you can put it on the battlefield tapped. Oh yeah. Go get a nice dual land typed land for one. Low cost of 1 and a green. Next card I have is Wrath of God. Old school board wipe, boy. 2 and 2 white. Destroy all creatures. They can't be regenerated. Again, sometimes you just gotta have the backup plan to the backup plan. If shit's gotta go, then shit's gotta go. Let's see. Next I have Kadama's Reach. Costs 2 and a green. Is a sorcery arcane, which is a super old, irrelevant ability. I'm not even going to go into it. But it literally does the exact same thing as Cultivate. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Reveal those cards, put one on the battlefield, tap the other one in your hand, then shuffle. Pretty cut and dry there. And next, we have Blasphemous Act. Like that old, where they have that look, and it must be in one of the, Commander deck. But anyway, says this spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature on the battlefield. Blasphemous Act deals 13 damage to each creature. And if this deck runs the way that I want it to, it's only going to cost 1 red. Again, do I want to get rid of all my tokens and whatnot? Of course I don't want to, but sometimes you have to get rid of a possible bigger threat. Next, another card that pretty much, Day of Judgment. Ooh, that's not the art I have, but damn, is that slick. Costs 2 and 2 white, destroy all creatures. Again, just another one of those. If things just aren't going your way, if you can't have anything nice, no one else can either. That's how I look at it. I'm a dick like that. And then there's Depopulate. Costs 2 and 2 white. Each player who controls a multicolored creature draws a card. Okay, that's cool. Then destroy all creatures. So, draw a card, then destroy everything. At least you get a card out of it. And then let's see. Oops. No. Oh, okay, at least it popped up there. Next card is Overrun. Costs 2 and 3 green. Creatures I control get +3/+3 and gain trample to end a turn. Needless to say, with an army of tokens out there, that could get devastating real quick. Let's see. And then we have Incandescent Aria. I'm going to pronounce it Aria. If it's pronounced a different way, then whatever, but I have a niece named Aria, so I'm going to pronounce it Aria. It says it deals 3 damage to each non-token creature. I'm going to have a bunch of tokens. But it's in a sense, I look at it like it's a pseudo board wipe. It'll get rid of my Artificers too, but depending on, it's another one of those cards that's situational. Obviously, I'm only gonna play it if it benefits me, or if I just need to get rid of everything, or just something specific. That if it lingers around too long, then it's gotta go. But okay. And the next one I have here is Increasing Devotion. Costs 3 and 2 white. Create 5/1/1 white human creature tokens. If this spell was cast from a graveyard, create 10 of those tokens instead, and it has a flashback cost of 7 and 2 white. Pretty cut and dry. Create a bunch of humans. Create a bunch of tokens. Create a bunch of tokens. Yeah, let's not spend too much time on that. And the newer version of Martial Coup also just came out. Is White Sun's Twilight. Costs 2 2 white and X. You gain X life, and you create X 1/1 colorless Phyrexian Might artifact creature tokens with Toxic 1, and this creature can't block. If X is 5 or more, destroy all other creatures. I still like Martial Coup better, only because these things can't block. That's the only reason. But if I need some tokens, if I need some quick tokens out there, or if I need to blow some shit up, then that's what it's there for, and that's what I'm gonna do. Alright, last two. Oops, might want to be in that box here. Giggity. Have Hour of Revelation, costs 3 and 3 white. This spell costs 3 less to cast if there are 10 or more non-land permanents on the battlefield. That won't be too hard to accomplish. Destroy all non-land permanents. Just another backup plan that says, hey, if I can't have anything nice, neither can you. And then the last one is pretty much in the same category, and that is by invitation only, costs 3 and 2 white. Choose a number between 0 and 13. Each player sacrifices that many creatures. Depending on if somebody else is playing a go white strategy like I am, hopefully I'm going to pick a number. Obviously, I pick the number that, yeah, we have to sacrifice a bunch of stuff, including myself, but I hopefully have way more creatures than you do, and hopefully that makes the difference. Alright, let's move on into the instant that I have here, and the first one I have here is Aura Mutation, costs Selesnya, and destroy target enchantment. Create X 1/1 green sapling creature tokens where X is the enchantment's mana value. Destroy an enchantment, I get tokens equal to that enchantment's cost. Pretty cut and dry. Next. I have, excuse me, Return to Dust. 2 and 2 white. Exile target artifact or enchantment. If you cast this spell during your main phase, you may exile up to 1 other target artifact or enchantment. So you can choose to do this on somebody else's turn. If they play something that you're just like, nah, I can't let you have that. Or you just wait till your turn and get rid of 2 things. They don't even have to be from the same player. And you get to exile them. So yeah, they're not getting those back. Next I have Boros Charm. One of the best charms in my personal opinion. Obviously, it costs Boros, and you get to choose one. Boros Charm deals 4 damage to target player or planeswalker, or permanents you control gain indestructible until end of turn, or target creature gains double strike until end of turn. I've mostly used these for these second 2 abilities. This can protect your board from a board wipe, whether it be yours or somebody else's. This can possibly give you the killing blow with a creature, especially if it's your commander. Because my commander, as you saw, is a 5/4, and if I have all the creatures out on the board that I need to, he's an 8/4. And then, yeah, it's not gonna kill him in that shot, but it'll put him in range. That's for damn sure. Also, depending on how much commander damage. I've rarely used this top one. I don't think I've ever used it to hit a player, but I have probably used it to kill a pesky planeswalker before. But yeah, that top ability I don't use very often, but the other 2 I use all the time. Next one I have is War Report. 3 and a white. You gain life equal to the number of creatures on the battlefield, plus the number of artifacts on the battlefield. Not sure how many artifacts are going to be on the battlefield, but this is Commander. 4 people around the table. There's going to be a few. And I know I'm going to have a bunch of creatures. I don't know if you guys are, but just another way to gain a bunch of life. And it's at instant speed, so depending on the scenario, that can save your life. Next here I have Grand Crescendo. Costs 2 white and X. Create X 1/1 green and white creature tokens. Green and white citizen creature tokens. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. The thing that's cool about this is that it can save your board whether you create a token or not. You can just play the 2 blue and make all your blue. I said blue. You can pay the 2 white and nothing, and at minimum make all your creatures indestructible until end of turn. Or you can make a few tokens. The tokens will be indestructible still until end of turn. But 2 white, make all your creatures indestructible. That alone is worth it to me. Alright, next. I have Secure the Waste. Cost 1 white and X. Create X 1/1 white warrior creature tokens. This card is the shit. And nobody ever sees it coming, needless to say. Just a bunch more tokens and cheap too. Extremely cheap. Let's see. Next I have no. Oh, sorry, picked the wrong one. It's this one. White Sun Zenith costs 3 white and X. Create X 2/2 white creature tokens, and then shuffle White Sun Zenith into its owner's library. Yet another one nobody sees coming. Cast it at the end of somebody's turn, create a bunch of tokens. Depending on how much mana you have, this may give you the amount of creatures that you need, so that you can get your commander's bonuses. Second to last instant I have is Swords to Plowshares. Costs 1 white, exile target creature. Its controller gains life equal to its power. I just put this in there honestly because I had it laying around, and Swords to Plowshares the shit. So I was like, why not? And there's never really a time that this will be useless. So yeah, threw it in here just on some humbug shit. And the last instant that I have is Artifact Mutation. Costs Gruel, and this one, just like the other one, destroy target artifact. It can't be regenerated, and I create X 1/1 green sapling creature tokens, where X is that artifact's mana value. Needless to say, there are a shitload of annoying artifacts out there. I'm pretty sure I've even used this on a Soul Ring before just to slow somebody down. There's stuff like that. Mana Rocks, Arcane Signet, Thrawn Dynamo. But the list goes on and on. We're not going to get into that. There's a lot of artifacts that will annoy you, and unless they're indestructible, this can get rid of it, and I get tokens in their stead. Alright, now on to the artifacts, which I can see that there are only 6, which is that's completely fine. And I'm sure that's usually why I just always do this one first. And the Soul Ring costs 1 artifact, taps for 2 colorless, needs no introduction. It's a Soul Ring, for Christ's sake. And then the next one I have here is Arcane Signet. Costs 2 colorless and can tap for 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. I feel like this is just me, my personal opinion, but I feel like any commander deck that has at least 3 more colors should have this. 2, depending on if you need, extra mana rocks, but 3 or more, absolutely. And that actually goes right along with the next card that is on my stack here, and that's Chromatic Lantern. Costs 3 colorless, and it states that lands you control have tap, add 1 mana of any color, and it also taps for 1 mana of any color. To me, again, personal opinion only, 3 or more colors, you should have a chromatic lantern in that deck. If you have one, I'm not telling people how to spend their money. I hate when people do that to me. If you have one, it's just my personal opinion that if it's 3 or more colors, you should have a chromatic lantern in the deck. Well, depending on what the deck does, obviously. Next card I have here is, Whisper Silk Cloak. Costs 3 colorless. It's an artifact equipment. Equipped creature can't be blocked. It's unblockable. I always wondered why they took away the word unblockable. Was that too hard to understand? So they had to change it to can't be blocked. Guess what? If it can't be blocked, that means it's unblockable. But anyway, and it has Shroud. For anybody who doesn't know what Shroud, it means it can't be the target of spells or abilities. Anybody's, including yours. So, know when you put this on something, you can't put shit else on it. Unless you have something that cheats around it, which there are a lot of those cards, but it has equip cost 2. Just a way to protect my commander. And yeah, if I have an unblockable 5/4 commander with all kinds of bonuses that just make him stronger, let's fucking go. Next, and I know you guys, anybody who have watched any of my videos, you guys would probably know that, this card was in here, and that is Swiftfoot Boots. Costs 2 colorless, and it's an artifact equipment. Equip costs 1. And equipped creature has haste, has hexproof and haste. Now hexproof, unlike Shroud, means that it can't be the target of spells or abilities your opponents control. So you can still buff it and boost it and put auras on it and put other equipment on it and shit like that. Haste means it can attack the same turn it came in, or say if you have a creature with like a tap activated ability, you can equip Swiftfoot Boots on it and you can use that. It won't have summoning sickness anymore. So yeah, Swiftfoot Boots, the shit. And the last artifact I have in here is Panharmonicon. Cost 4 colorless, and if an artifact or creature entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. And this is in here because I have all those creatures that enter the battlefield and they create stuff or they do stuff. All that good stuff. Not to mention, say if I have aura shards on the board, that says when a creature enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact or enchantment. That triggers aura shards, so you can hit multiple things. Cathar's Crusade, when a creature enters the battlefield, it triggers Cathar's Crusade to put a +1/+1 counter on your creatures. Guess what? Let's do that twice. Yeah. So yeah, booyah there. I'm looking through my non-basic lands right now. I'm sorry, I should have did this before I was recording. Nothing really of note. Obviously mountains, forest, and plains, command tower. Nothing. Yeah, I don't own any of those really good non-basic lands in this color trifecta. So yeah, we have that. And oops. So yeah, that is my deck with Jetmir, Nexus of Revels. And actually, one thing we're gonna check out real quick is I'm gonna start doing this. How many decks of this are on? Oop, too fast. There are. Damn it! Sorry. Let's do it that way. Stop. Let's see. 6,260 decks on EDH Rec. Not bad. I'd say that's above the average. So yeah, that is my Jetmir Nexus of Revels deck. Hope you guys like it. I know for a fact that it can be adjusted and they can use. I actually just thought of the fact that I could probably put a fervor in here. More things that give haste. But like I said, I just put it together just because I like putting decks together and I like to try them out. Just because that's what my friends and I do. We just put shit together and we just try them out. Hope for the best. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. This deck has been play tested and it gets pretty rambunctious, pretty fast if it plays right, just like any deck. But you guys know what it is. If you enjoyed the video, the whole like, share, subscribe thing. Again, I'm not gonna beg like a lot of these YouTubers, but if you do, or even leave comments or anything like that, I greatly appreciate it. I'm small time, so if you leave a comment on my videos, I can respond to them. So, yeah, that's all I got, and on to the next time when I have time. So until then, peace.